The training hall of the Interstellar Academy was larger than most city stadiums on Earth. Rows of elevated platforms circled a massive central arena where cadets from dozens of alien civilizations gathered to learn combat discipline, survival strategy, and leadership. The Academy believed that only through controlled challenge could future explorers survive the harsh realities of deep space. On this particular cycle, the hall was filled with murmurs. Word had spread that a new species had joined the Academy for the first time. Humans from Earth had finally been accepted into the Galactic Training Program. Most aliens watched with curiosity. Some watched with doubt. A few watched with open amusement. Humans were known to be physically average compared to many galactic species. They were not the strongest. They were not the fastest. They did not possess claws, venom, armored skin, or telepathic abilities. On paper, they appeared unimpressive. But rumors traveled quickly across space. Stories of human persistence had begun to circulate in quiet conversations. Still, many instructors believed the rumors were exaggerated. Instructor Krail certainly believed that. Krail was a towering reptilian officer who had trained warriors for nearly 40 cycles. His scaled skin reflected the bright academy lights, and his voice carried the sharp confidence of someone who had never lost control of a training arena. Today, he intended to evaluate the new human cadet personally. The arena doors slid open with a deep metallic hum. A single human stepped into the arena. His name was Daniel. Daniel walked calmly to the center platform. He wore the academy training uniform like every other cadet, a dark suit reinforced with light armor plating. His posture was relaxed. His eyes moved slowly across the massive hall, quietly observing everything. The alien cadets leaned forward with interest. Some whispered among themselves. The instructor stepped into the arena from the opposite side. Krail's heavy footsteps echoed across the polished floor. His tail dragged behind him like a thick rope of muscle. He stopped a few meters from the human. For several seconds, the two simply stood there. Then Krail spoke. "So this is the human species." His voice was loud enough to fill the hall. Daniel gave a small nod. "Yes, sir." Krail circled him slowly. "I have reviewed the biological data. Your species lacks natural weapons. Your muscles are average. Your bone density is average. Your reaction time is average." He leaned down slightly, bringing his large reptilian eyes level with the human. "Tell me, human, why should the Academy waste time training you?" The alien cadets watched closely. Daniel did not react emotionally. His breathing stayed steady. "We came here to learn," he said simply. Krail snorted with amusement. "Learn." The instructor suddenly straightened to full height. "Let us see if humans can learn quickly." Without warning, Krail lunged forward. The attack shocked the arena. Most instructors announced demonstrations. Krail had not. His massive arms swung toward Daniel with frightening speed. The strike would have knocked most cadets across the floor. Gasps spread through the viewing platforms. But Daniel did not panic. At the last possible moment, he moved. His body shifted half a step to the side. Krail's strike cut through empty air. Before the instructor could fully recover his balance, Daniel gently pushed against the reptilian arm, redirecting the momentum. Krail stumbled forward to steps. The arena went silent. The instructor turned slowly. His eyes narrowed. The human had not attacked. He had simply moved. Daniel stood calmly again in the center of the arena. His hands rested loosely at his sides. Krail's tail lashed once against the floor. "You dodged." Daniel nodded. "Yes, sir." Krail growled softly. "Do not mock me, human. I'm not." The instructor's muscles tensed. Again, he attacked. This time, the strike came from above. A powerful downward blow meant to crush. Again, Daniel moved. He stepped backward smoothly. The strike hit the floor with a loud crack. Before Krail could swing again, Daniel spoke. "Sir." The instructor paused for a fraction of a second. "You're using strength too early." The entire arena froze. An alien cadet from the upper rows whispered. Did the human just give the instructor advice? Krail's eyes burned with irritation. "You dare lecture me?" Daniel shook his head calmly. No, sir. Just an observation. Reptilian instructor launched forward a third time. This attack was faster. Kral used both arms and his tail in a sweeping combination designed to overwhelm opponents. To most observers, the movements looked impossible to evade. But Daniel's calm never broke. He moved again. Small steps. Simple angles. Minimal effort. Each attack missed by inches. The alien cadets watched with growing disbelief. Daniel was not fighting. He was flowing. Every motion looked effortless. Kral grew angrier with each failed strike. Finally, he attempted a full charge. The massive instructor rushed forward with his entire body weight. At that exact moment, Daniel stepped sideways and placed one hand lightly on Kral's shoulder. The touch looked gentle, but the timing was perfect. Kral's own momentum carried him forward. With a subtle redirection from Daniel's hand, the instructor lost his balance and crashed onto the arena floor. The impact echoed through the hall. For several seconds, nobody spoke. The great instructor Kral slowly lifted his head from the ground. The human stood quietly nearby. He had not struck a single blow. Kral pushed himself back to his feet. The silence in the arena felt heavy. He studied the human carefully now. You did not counterattack. Daniel shook his head. It was training. Kral's breathing slowed. You allowed me to exhaust myself. Daniel shrugged slightly. You were attacking. I was learning. Instructor stared at him. Learning what? Daniel answered without hesitation. How you move. For a long moment, Kral said nothing. The alien cadets leaned forward again, sensing something had changed. Finally, the instructor spoke again, but his voice sounded different now. You predicted my attacks. Daniel nodded. A little? Kral folded his arms. How? The human pointed gently toward the arena. You telegraph your shoulders before each strike. Your tail moves when you shift weight. Your eyes focus on your target half a second early. Several cadets gasped again. Kral blinked slowly. You noticed all that? Daniel smiled slightly. Humans are good at noticing patterns. The instructor turned and looked up at the watching cadets. Many species stared back in disbelief. Then Kral looked back at Daniel. And if I had used full combat force, Daniel answered calmly, then I would have tried something else. Kral tilted his head. What else? Daniel paused for a moment. Then he said something that made the entire arena even quieter. Probably running. A few cadets laughed nervously, but Kral did not. The instructor studied the human again. You admit weakness. Daniel shrugged. Running away is also survival. That answer seemed to interest Kral. You humans fight strangely. Daniel nodded. Sometimes the best move is not fighting. The instructor walked slowly around him again. But this time, his expression carried curiosity rather than arrogance. You remained calm from the moment I attacked. Yes, sir. Why? Daniel looked around the massive arena. All these people were watching. And panicking would have been embarrassing. Several alien cadets burst into surprised laughter. Even Kral's rigid posture relaxed slightly. After a moment, the instructor spoke again. Human, Daniel. Yes, sir. You never struck me once. Correct? Kral gestured toward the arena. And yet you controlled the entire fight. Daniel thought for a moment. Then he answered honestly. I just waited. Kral stared at him for several seconds. Then something unexpected happened. The instructor laughed. A deep reptilian laugh that echoed through the arena. The cadets watched in shock. Kral rarely laughed. He turned toward the audience. Observe carefully. His voice carried authority again, but now it held a tone of respect. This is why humans are dangerous. The cadets exchanged confused looks. Kral continued. They are not the strongest. He gestured toward Daniel. They are not the fastest. He stepped closer to the human. But they remain calm while the rest of us rush into mistakes. The instructor folded his arms again. Remember this lesson. He looked around the arena one final time. A calm mind defeats raw strength. Then Kral turned back to Daniel. For a first day at the academy, human, you have made an impression. Daniel smiled politely. Thank you, sir. The instructor nodded once. Training continues tomorrow. He paused before leaving the arena. And next time. Kral's eyes glinted with challenge. I will not telegraph my shoulders. Daniel chuckled quietly. I look forward to it. The instructor walked out of the arena while the cadets watched in stunned silence. As the doors closed, whispers filled the hall again. The human had not shouted. He had not shown anger. He had not even thrown a punch. Yet somehow he had completely changed the way the Academy looked at humanity. And that was the moment many cadets realized something important. Humans did not always win by force. Sometimes they won simply by staying calm while everyone else lost control. And in the unpredictable chaos of the galaxy, that might be the most powerful ability of all.